This is Indie 1023 from Colorado Public Radio. My name's Alisha Sweeney, and joining me in the Indie Lounge is Squirrel Flower, the moniker of Chicago-based musician Ella Williams, and we're so excited to have her play some songs for us today and to talk about the new album, her third, Tomorrow's Fire. This new album is critically acclaimed and ended up on many year-end lists for Best of 2023. We love it around here as well. Ella, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much.
We're so glad to have you here. You're going to play us some songs stripped back.
Yes.
And also, let's talk about the new record. Let's do a song first. What do you have?
Alley Light. She looks so pretty tonight. Blue dress in the alley light. I was gonna take her out tonight, but all her favorite spots closed down. She knows how these things go. In line for a radio, I could never take things slow. Maybe that's why she loves me. She says she wants to go far, out of town in my beat-up car. Will she find another man who can take her there when my drive burns out? She knows how these things go. On air at the radio, I could never take things slow. Maybe that's why she loves me. I'm taping scratch tickets up, flying in the evening wind. She says I'm wasting my time, but she knows one day I'll win. She looks so pretty tonight. Blue dress in the alley light. I was gonna take her out tonight, but all her favorite spots closed down. She knows how these things go. In line at the radio, I could never take things slow. Maybe that's why she loves me.
It's Alley Light from Squirrel Flower here from the Indie Lounge, playing a stripped-back version of the song. That one has been in heavy rotation here at the radio station. We absolutely love it.
Thank you.
So you're a few days into the tour. This is officially, I guess, the first or second U.S. leg since the new album has been out. How's it going these first couple of days?
It's going so well. The first show in Chicago was the biggest show I've ever sold out. So that was like a huge milestone for me, to be honest. And I feel like it set the tour off on like a really, really positive note. So we're having a lot of fun. Happy to be here.
Congratulations on that. That was at the Lincoln Theater?
Lincoln Hall.
Lincoln Hall.
Yeah.
In Chicago. Chicago is where you're based. So that's a hometown show. Do hometown shows feel different than like coming through Denver or LA?
They do feel different. To be honest, I get very, very nervous playing for people that I know. Like, I could play, I've played shows for like 6,000 people opening for other artists, and they're all strangers in the audience, so I'm not worried at all. I don't feel nervous at all. But playing even for like, 100 people who I know, or even like in a living room with my friends, I get so nervous because you just can't hide as much. Like, they know you, they know all of your, bullshit, and it's harder to like have a persona, which is inherently part of being on a stage. You kind of distance yourself a little bit.
So when you were playing the show in Chicago the other night, could you see your friends like on the side of the stage
I
or
honestly,
out in the audience?
I
or
was
just...
like too scared to look. I was staring up at the balcony the entire time because I was too scared to look in the audience.
I bet your friends were smiling up.
They
smiling at you.
Yeah.
So let's talk this new album, Tomorrow's Fire. You co-produced it in Asheville, North Carolina. Tell me a little bit about that time. I know you have an amazing roster of artists that you recorded with there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was actually a year ago, pretty much exactly now, that I went down to Asheville. I got hooked up with Alex, who I co-produced it with, and he engineered and mixed and co-produced the whole thing. I was staying above the studio. They have this apartment, and I'd never done that before, and it was so insane to like walk out of a door in the kitchen, and then you're just in the studio, and then at the end of the day you walk from the studio back into the kitchen. And like it created this environment of just like deep, intense music making. Like, I never really had a break for 2 weeks. We just recorded all day, every day. And I think it allowed me to really get like into the meat of all of the songs and really push them into this magical place. And yeah, we had just an insane crew of musicians who came in. Like, the first week and a half was sort of just me and Alex putting down as many instruments as we could. And then the second half, we brought these people in, and they kind of just added things here and there and made it sparkle that much more.
Yeah, I love that. So what's like the perfect day in the studio for you now, 3 records in and having this new experience in Asheville?
I think the perfect day, it's not about like how much you get done or, how many songs you finish. It's more about feeling comfortable enough to let yourself and your sound breathe. I feel like I've spent time in so many studios at this point where it's hard not to be a little nervous, and that will come through in the music if you do feel that way. So for me, it's just about the vibes, to be honest, the energy, and being comfortable enough to experiment and to try things that you wouldn't otherwise try.
You mentioned just making space in songs.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of hinted at it there, and I read about that in an interview with you recently, maybe back in December. You had said that in an interview that you want to, like, instead of filling your songs, you want to create some space.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that you do that so effectively.
Thank you.
And was that hard to accomplish when you were in the studio with Alex and then bringing in those musicians, or they're so talented they could hear the purpose behind what you wanted to create?
Well, definitely the latter. But that's also why we tracked so much of it ourselves before we brought people in. Like, if we had done all of the songs live with everybody there, it would have given me less creative control. And, as you said, space is such an important thing in my music. It always has been. Mm-hmm. And sometimes in a studio setting, it's easy to kind of get carried away, and especially when you're playing with like world-class studio musicians, and be like, okay, let's fill every moment with like beautiful sound. But when it comes down to it, like the most important moments are the moments of space and breath and silence, and having moments like that make the moments of sound so much more impactful. But yeah, I think everybody that I brought in was like really in line with my vision, and I definitely like took opportunity to like explain and like really make sure everybody knew what I wanted, but it did feel pretty natural.
I love that. And I want you to play a song now, which I think on the record has that beautiful space. And this is one, just the opening line hooked me instantly of this song that you're going to play for us. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, this is Full-Time Job. Taking it easy is a full-time job, one I'm tired of, one I'm tired of. Doing my best is a full-time job, but it doesn't pay the rent. No, it doesn't pay the rent. No, it doesn't pay. Never wanted to be someone's wife. Give up my whole life. Give up my whole life. So I try to be brave in the crowd, but I'm on my knees now. Yeah, I'm on my knees now. Yeah, I'm on my knees.
Ella Williams records as Squirrel Flower. She's joining us in the Indie Lounge as you listen or watch. My name's Alisha Sweeney. That song, Full-Time Job. I love that line, doing my best is a full-time job, but it doesn't pay the rent.
Thank you.
When did that one come to you?
Honestly, I was about to go to work catering a wedding, which I do when I'm not touring in Chicago, and I was feeling like really stressed about money, and I was feeling like this angst that I think a lot of people my age, I'm 27 now, I think a lot of people my age kind of who are in the creative world feel this angst of like just wanting to be able to make music and art all the time, but it's so challenging to do so. And yeah, it just, you know, I just picked up my guitar, I turned up my amp really loud, which was not very nice for my neighbors down below. And the song really just kind of spilled out, and I had my little voice memos on my phone recording. Originally, I wasn't even going to record the song. I wasn't thinking about keeping it or including it on the record. And then Alex in the studio was like, you would be insane to not record this, and it ended up being the lead single. So
it's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the record. I read something that you shared online about Tomorrow's Fire. So the album title, Tomorrow's Fire, is something you took from a book that your great-grandfather wrote
Yes.
about a medieval troubadour.
Yes.
And it turns out that he, your grandfather,
Also
great-grandfather,
borrowed the title.
took the title from a poem from a 13th century poet.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about this and like the Williams family folklore.
It's slightly convoluted.
I love this.
But So he was an author, and the past like 3 years I've been on this journey of reading his books. He wrote a lot of children's books that I grew up reading. They're very like feminist, like children's books, which was really cool, honestly.
Is it anything that like people would know,
I
or
don't
that
think
we
so.
all grew up hearing?
No,
I think you said he passed away in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he definitely had like a small like kind of cult following, I think. But, you know, he wasn't on like the New York Times bestseller list or anything like that. But, you know, his books have been hugely influential in my life. And the past few years I've been reading more of his novels, and a lot of them are historical fiction. And this one, Tomorrow's Fire, I started reading a couple years ago, and just so many of the situations and the lines and like the musings that this character does, they resonated with me so much as like a traveling artist, and it felt very powerful to almost be getting like words of advice from an ancestor that I've never met. And, you know, I think the record is really about being an artist in all of its many forms. So when I was thinking about the title for the record, it felt right to kind of name it after this book, and also after this poem.
This familial tie and
the familial
poem.
tie, yeah. Like my family, my whole extended family has been hugely influential for me as a musician, because many of them are musicians and artists and people who kind of take a slightly different path in life. Yeah.
I'm wondering from you if one of the characters or songs on your new album could live on for a future generation, for your family members, one of your family members to find one day. What song would you hope it to be from the new record, and why?
I think Finally Rain.
And you'll be playing that one for us.
Yes, yeah, I'm playing that next. I think that song is one of my favorite songs I've ever written. You know, I think at first listen it could sound very hopeless, but it's actually very full of hope. It's sort of saying like, we won't grow up, meaning we reject this like sort of lifestyle that's forced upon us, and it's sort of like a manifesto for not losing childlike wonder and joy and community, and yeah, that would be the one.
Well, let's hear that now. Let's have you play that. It's Squirrel Flower in the Indie Lounge.
Thank you so much.
Flushing out the garden in the house where I grew up. A spill in Michigan, in your backyard, bubbles in the pond where you grew up. My love, my love, my love, my love, my love, my love. If this is what it means to be alive, if this is what it means to be alive, if this is what it means to be alive, I won't grow up, grow up, grow up.
secrets down the city drain, 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 spilling Lake Michigan. Something bad, but that is not the way I wanna die, die, die at 25, 5, 5. If this is what it means to be alive, if this is what it means to be alive, if this is what it means to be alive, I won't grow up, grow up, grow up. Finally rain, finally rain, water running down the driveway, where you made a promise, swear you won't tell. If this is what it means to be alive, if this is what it means to be alive, if this is what it means to be alive, we won't grow up, grow up, grow up. My love, my love, my love, my love, my love, my love.
Squirrel Flower in the Indie Lounge with Finally Rain as you listen to Indie 102.3, or if you're watching this and streaming this online. So, being that we're in Colorado, I noticed there's a couple Colorado connections that you might not know of things that you've done.
Oh.
Musically, and artists that you've talked about in interviews that I've noticed over the last few months since we've been playing the record on the radio. So first of all, a former Coloradan, her and I went to the University of Colorado together in Boulder, and she and I radio DJ'd together, is Caroline Polachek.
Oh, no way.
And you
I did
have
not know
found
that.
huge success with your cover of her song,
Yeah.
So Hot, I'm Hurting Your Feelings.
It's so insane. I recorded that in my basement the first week of quarantine on a whim and released it not thinking anybody would ever hear it. And like the success that it has found it's nothing that I've done. Of course I made the song, but like we weren't like, oh, we're going to put a big marketing campaign behind it and make this cover blow up. Like it was just incredibly random and I had no control over it. So yeah.
And speaking of like you putting space into songs, like the way that you put a different softness and space into that song is so lovely. And yeah, I noticed on Spotify there's like 11 million
it's
as
ridiculous.
of now, like listens to that. And then I think your most popular song on there, like of your originals, is like 1 million. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how like just that really struck me and was interesting to me. But I did want to like mention that Chairlift started her first band started when they were in college.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah. And another artist that I've seen you mention online is Midwife, that you love. Her album that she did, that collaborative album,
I'm obsessed
from
with
last year. And Madeline, she's originally from Denver. She's living in New Mexico now.
Cool.
But I was thinking about you talking about her collaboration that she did last year with Eva Melancholia. Who would you want to collab with? It doesn't have to be any of the artists that I just mentioned, but is there anybody that you have in mind that you would want to work with?
Honestly, I'm a huge fan of Dean Blunt.
Who's
over in the UK, and that's one person I would really want to collaborate with.
Well, I need to check out Dean Blent's music. I
Yeah.
haven't listened to him.
Yeah, he produces a lot of really cool stuff and also makes his own music.
Very cool. Well, it's been great to visit with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And welcome to Denver for this
Thank you.
short stay. Congratulations on selling out so many days of your tour so far.
Thank you.
And just wishing you a wonderful 2024.
Thank you so much.
My name is Alisha Sweeney. Thanks so much to our team at Indie 102.3 for making this session happen. Of course, you can find more sessions over at indie1023.org. The new album from Squirrel Flower called Tomorrow's Fire is out now on Polyvinyl Records. Thank you.
Thank you.